chance to try out the new System Coupe by ALM Busy Circuits. This is their new modular system. Let's do a quick module run through and then get into the patch. Starting from left to right, we have mmmidi and the expansion mmt. This sends MIDI to CV. Next, we have Pamela's new workout. Clock gates, triggers, envelopes, and quantized CV, and all can be synced to 1 BPM. Over here we have the Quaid Megaslope. It's a 5-stage function generator or modulator, and LFO and step sequencer. Over here we have a basic mult. It's used to duplicate signals to send to multiple destinations. Next is the Squid Sample. It's an 8-channel audio and CV sampler. The USB key can save and load samples. Next we have the Milton. This module is great. This is where you can plug in a pedal, bring your line level up to Eurorack. It has a buffered mult, attenuator, and a fixed gain mixer on it. Over here we have the MCO, which is a compact digital oscillator. Next to it we have the MCF, which is an analog multimode filter. Here we have the Tangle Quartet, which is 4 VCAs all mixed together, and you have one output here at the mix out. And last we have a headphone output, which is a stereo output. To start off my patch over here, I use the MCO, which is the oscillator. I have the output of the oscillator patched into the MCF, which is the filter. And the filter is, I'm using the low pass, patched into the VCA's first channel. Next, I patched the Quaid Megaslope into the first channel of the VCA. I took the volts per octave out of the mmmidi and patched that into the volts per octave input on the oscillator, the MCO. I next have the mmmidi gate out connected to the Quaid Megaslope trigger input. The mmmidi has 2 channels that you're able to connect MIDI channels to, channel 1 and channel 2. Those receive volts per octave, velocity, and gate. So with the MIDI expansion on the MMT, as you can see here, there's 8 trigger outputs. This sends out on MIDI channel 10, and it sends out as note values, starting with C3, C sharp, and so forth until you go up to the 8 trigger outs. So I'm using the Complete 6 as my audio interface. It sends and receives MIDI. So in this case, I'm using it to send MIDI out to the MIDI input of the MIDI module here. So if you look over here at my Ableton session, you'll see I have it set up, and you'll read the top ALM, MCO, MIDI. That's the channel that's sending MIDI out to the module. This is how I'm able to use the push to sequence my bass line. So in this case, I'm using a guitar pedal to add some fun effect. In order to do that, the system here has a new module that they incorporated into it called the Milton. I'm taking the output of the sampler into the Milton, and to attenuate the level, I'm sending now out of the Milton and into my pedal, out of my pedal and into my interface.
Oscillator. Oscillator.
All right, so let's talk about the heart of our system here, the Squid Sampler. It's an 8-channel audio and CV sampler. There's a USB key here. You can put your samples, and in this case today, I dumped some of my samples on there from my newest sample pack. If you look over here, this is where we patched into the 8 trigger outs of the MIDI expansion. So if you look up at the Ableton session, you'll see here my blue clip demo 2. That's where I'm sequencing the samples on the Squid Sample.
Oscillator. Oscillator.
For my kick, I'm using a VST in Ableton. Next to the kick, I have 3 other channels where I'm playing a few other loops just to add additional texture to the patch. Integrating a small Eurorack system like this with Ableton makes a great hybrid setup for both performance and production use. Also, the system can be used on its own. You don't have to use it with Ableton. That's the great thing about Pamela's workout. You can use this to sequence your sampler along with the oscillator, and you can set your BPM right there on the screen. All right, so let's sample into the Squid Sample. As you can see here, I am connecting my iPhone into the sample in. Next, you just go function record to monitor your incoming sound. Hit the like button. Hit record again to activate. Hit the like button. Hit record again to stop. Hit the Q button to edit your sample on the fly.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Overall, this was a fun system to use with or without a DAW. I was able to quickly start making music, and I have to say my favorite thing about it was using the sampler. Easy to get my sample in there on the fly and continue to jam. So if you like these types of videos, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.